Oh God.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
I mean, I'm not telling you should drop precept, and it's really interesting, and you could dunk on a lot of people.
I don't like philosophy.
Well, you're doing it.
I know, but I do more like theology than philosophy.
Oh, then, I mean, it's just preaching, basically. I mean, theology is really just talking about your view and just like, figuring out how to accommodate the data. That's not like showing that your view is true. You have to do philosophy for that.
No.
I mean, you're doing apologetics, which is philosophy.
Philosophy can't determine anything's true because they don't have a single concrete unifying principle. So they can't even account for explanations. So we have to do theology. So
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
to explain anything, you need to have connections between events and connections between states of affairs. And so explanations would presuppose a single concrete unifying principle. So that's God revealed in creation. So without that, you couldn't explain anything. So philosophy doesn't make sense unless you start with theology. So
Well, events are a type of state of affairs, right?
okay.
So I'm confused. I mean, like, why wouldn't philosophy do that? Because philosophy is conceiving of how we think the world is, right?
No,
And some of those are going to be justified good views, some will be false views, like bad views.
no, but all you have is metaphysical speculation as opposed to revelation. That's the difference.
Yeah, but you're also doing metaphysical speculation, right? When you think that the Bible is truly representing the noumena, right? So to speak.
But we're not starting with the human mind. We're starting with the mind of God. That's the difference.
Well, no, that's just a part of your causal theory, your story.
No.
Like atheists aren't starting with the human mind either. They're starting with like the Big Bang, or whatever caused the Big Bang.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're saying that God's reason is ultimate. You start with human reason.
No, you start with the human reasoning to believe there's an ultimate reasoning in God. That's the causal history. Just like we believe that there's a natural history that caused reasoning somewhere down the line.
Yes. So the starting point, the method, and the conclusion are going to be intertwined. So it's like we start proximately with man's reason. The method is we accept revelation from God, and the conclusion is that God's reason is ultimate. So those would all be intertwined, but you're confusing chronological priority with logical priority. It doesn't matter that chronologically we have to start with the human mind. God's mind would have logical priority.
Okay, that's fine, but that's only after your human mind accepts God as the ground of all logic.
But that's chronological priority, so that's irrelevant.
Okay, then why don't we have logical priority when we say that we accept that naturalism is true and that's what caused minds and gives us knowledge? Why can't we say the same thing?
Oh my God! Because you're saying that human reason is ultimate as opposed to God's reason is ultimate.
No. To keep the analogy, like what is ultimate is the world that created our minds or something like that, right? The reasoning.
No, that's metaphysical speculation, though.
Okay, but so is yours because you're speculating.
So see, there's a difference between metaphysical speculation and revelation. So you're ignoring that.
Well, it's metaphysical speculation because you're using some evidence and then saying this is true metaphysically.
No, I'm not. Revelation isn't a human speculation. It's saying, if we're saying that this is like coming from God. So all you're doing is imposing your worldview when you deny revelation. That's just your worldview. But your worldview leads to farting in the wind and trying to tell people your farts are profound, where my worldview saves science and saves philosophy and your soul.
Look, you see the analogy, though, like where you say that, what's logically first is God in your view, and then I say what's logically first, I don't have to use those words, but what's logically first in my view is the Big Bang, okay? Why do you get this externalist justification, but I don't?
Because I told you, revelation versus metaphysical speculation.
Yeah, but why would mine be speculation and yours not?
Because mine doesn't come from a human mind, it comes from the mind of God.
Well, my mind doesn't come from a human mind, it comes from the Big Bang, like the natural world, right? So what's the difference?
I don't know. I can't. I just figure it out. I can't. I try to explain it to you. Maybe they have AIs now. Maybe you could talk to the AI. Maybe
Well, it
that's
seems
what-
perfectly analogous. I'm looking for the symmetry breaker, man.
I try to give it to you. It's revelation versus metaphysical speculation.
Yeah, but why would mine be speculation?
You just keep rejecting my answer for no reason.